Hello friends, welcome to our fifth lecture on matrices. In this lecture we are going to see some elementary operations on the matrix and what do we mean by invertible matrices. So welcome to EMRS Nasik and we will start the lecture. Now if you are given a matrix A, so what kind of operations, what kind of transformations you can do on that matrix? So there are only 6 transformations that you can do with the matrix, 3 along with the row and 3 along with the column. So only 6 operations, only 6 transformations can be done on the matrix. So which are those 6 transformations we will see. So first I would say first and second will be 2 operations or 2 transformation will be like this. Any 2 rows or columns can be interchanged, means you can change any row into another row or any column into another column. So these are the 2 transformations. Suppose you are given a matrix this, so you can interchange any 2 rows of the matrix. So, like this I have written here, row 1 of this matrix can be interchanged with row 3. So this is your row 1 and this is your row 3. Okay, so this is your row 1 and this is your row 3. You can interchange row 1 into row 3. So after interchanging, this third row will be now first row and now this first row will be third row. Similarly I can interchange any 2 columns. Suppose I have performed this operation as C2 can be interchanged with C3, means second column can be interchanged with third column. So this is your second column, this can be interchanged with third column. So 4 minus 4 3 1 will be now third column and 5 1 2 will be now second column. Similarly next 2 transformations will be, we can multiply the elements of any row or column by a non-zero number. Means I can multiply, I can even divide means it is a kind of again multiplication. So I can multiply the elements of any row by a non-zero number. Suppose k is one non-zero number, so I can multiply the elements of ith row by that scalar. Similarly I can multiply the ci column, elements of ci column by the scalar, by the non-zero number k. See, suppose the same matrix is there. Now I can multiply the elements of first row of this matrix by suppose 2. What happens? I have performed this transformation. After performing this transformation, this matrix will reduce to, see, row 2 and row 3 will not change. I will write these two R2 and R2 as it is, but I can multiply this because I have done this operation. That's why I am now multiplying 2 with the elements of row 1. So 1 is there, so multiply with 2, this will give me 2. Minus 4 is there, minus 8. Multiply 5 with 2, this will be 10. Similarly I can perform the same kind of transformations along the columns also. Suppose the elements of second column are multiplied by the scalar 1 by 2. This is non-zero scalar. Okay, so I can multiply the elements of second row by this scalar. What happens? First column and third column will remain same. I will write this as it is. but the elements of second column are multiplied by 1 by 2. After multiplying this by 1 by 2, I will get minus 2. After multiplying this by 1 by 2, I will get 3 by 2, and after multiplying 1 by 1 by 2, I will get 1 by 2. So these are again 2. So now we have completed 4 transformations, 2 along rows, 2 along columns. Now third kind of transformation that we can perform on the matrix is we can add or subtract the elements of any row or column to the elements of any other row or column by a non-zero number. Means suppose I am having a first row, so the elements of first row can be added or can be subtracted from the elements of any other row, and that other row is multiplied by suppose a scalar k. So in order to show this kind of transformation, I have taken the same example. Suppose matrix A is given. Now I am performing this transformation as R1 goes to, means the elements of R1 goes to R1, means these elements, plus 2 times the elements of second row. So means I have to take addition of these 2 rows, but second row is multiplied by first 2. First multiplied the elements of second row by 2 and then add with row 1. So I will write R2 and R3 same as it is, but the transformation is performed on the first row, means the only elements of first row will change. So after R1 is 1 plus 2 times R2, means 1 plus 2 times minus 4, means 1 minus 4, this gives me minus 7. Similarly R1 means minus 4 plus 2 times R2 means 2 times 3, that is 6. So minus 4 plus 6 gives me 2. Similarly 5 plus 2 times R2 means 1. 5 plus 2 times 1 means this will give me 7. So the same type of operations can be performed on column also. So means I can perform only 6 types of transformations on the matrix, 3 along the row and 3 along the column. Now consider in number system, suppose 3 is here, which number is to be multiplied with 3 so that I will get 1. So of course you will say multiply 3 this with 1 by 3 so that 3 gets cancelled, I will get 1. Or I can say that which element is multiplied with this 1 by 3 so that I will get 1. You will say just multiply it with 3 so that 3 gets cancelled, I will get 1, where 1 is the multiplicative identity. Okay, where 1 is the multiplicative identity. Since I am multiplying these two numbers 3 and 1 by 3, I am getting 1. Okay, since I am multiplying 1 by 3 and 3, I am getting 1. So both are the multiplicative inverse of each other. Okay, why they are multiplicative inverse of each others? Because after multiplying these two elements, I am getting multiplicative identity. So therefore I am calling 3 and 1 by 3 as multiplicative inverse of each other. So this is the same case with the matrices. Let's suppose I am having a square matrix of order n, and if there exists another matrix of same order, means another square matrix, such that AB is equal to BA is equal to identity matrix. means this matrix A is multiplied with another matrix B. I am getting I means this is the identity matrix. Okay, identity matrix. Similarly, if I multiply B with the matrix A, make sure that both A and B are square matrices of same order. If I am multiplying AB with BA and I am getting the identity matrix, then I will say that B is the inverse of A or A is the inverse of B. Okay, then B is said to be multiplicative inverse of A, and this can be written as B. Now I am calling this B as inverse of A, so I will write this B as A inverse, and also A is B inverse of A is equal to B inverse. So A and B both are multiplicative inverse of each other. For example, suppose I am having matrix A and matrix B. Both are the square matrices, and if you take multiplication AB and BA, you will find that this multiplications comes out to be identity matrix. Okay, since multiplication comes out to be identity matrix, here also since multiplication comes out to be identity matrix, I will call A and B are the multiplicative inverses of each other. Okay, so these two matrices A and B are said to be now invertible because inverse exists. Now there are some results on the invertible matrices. Suppose you are given a square matrix and suppose its inverse exists, then that inverse is unique. Means for a given square matrix, the if inverse is existing, that inverse is unique. There is no other inverse, there is only one inverse, that is unique. And suppose if A and B are invertible matrices of same order, then of course AB inverse is equal to B inverse into A inverse, because since matrix multiplication is not always commutative, therefore AB inverse is equal to B inverse into A inverse. So these are the few important results on the invertible matrices. So thanks for watching this. Thank you.